A girl from a poor family was selling berries at the market to help her mother. But when a businessman approached to buy some, he froze upon seeing her pendant. Anita couldn't manage to fall asleep. She turned over to her other side again, as she'd already gotten uncomfortable on the previous one. The inflatable mattress creaked unpleasantly against the floor with every move. Her back was sweaty from it. Her mom had told her to put an old blanket under the sheet, but she'd forgotten. 2 weeks ago, Anita's old bed broke, and fixing it was just out of the question. It had sent too many people off to the arms of Morpheus, too many. It had belonged to Anita's grandmother, and only God knew how it had come to her. Now, this bed, along with its terribly worn-out mattress, had been sent to the dump. For now, until they could save up enough, they bought the cheapest inflatable mattress. Anna Dotto and her mother, Monica, had lived in poverty their whole lives. Monica worked at the local fish market, charmingly named Gifts of the Sea. She never had the chance to pursue a profession. Anita was born just after she turned 18. When her parents were alive, life was easier, but pneumonia took them both. They died on the same day, her father in the morning and her mother that evening. Not at all romantic, unfortunately. Since then, Monica had raised her daughter alone. Anita had been only 4 years old when her grandparents passed. There was no thought of education. Survival was all that mattered. First, Monica worked at a local supermarket, and a few years ago, she got a job at the fish shop nearby. She worked tirelessly, taking extra shifts, and even working holidays when offered. She loved her daughter Anita very much and wanted the best for her, though she could barely give her anything. It was fortunate that Anita was friends with Jimena Flores, the daughter of the owner of Gifts of the Sea. Her family had enough money. Jimena often gave her things to Anna. It was truly a godsend for Monica and her daughter. Monica often wondered what kept these two girls together. Anna loved wandering in the woods, listening to birdsong, and feeding the forest squirrels and chipmunks. The woods were just a short distance from their village. Jimena, on the other hand, was a party lover, enjoying the limelight and flirting with boys, even though she and Anita weren't even 16 yet. Yet some inexplicable force drew these girls together. Jimena's mother would often ask Anita to talk sense into her friend, hoping she'd finally get serious instead of wandering around until midnight with who knows whom. But nothing worked. Anna and Jimena each seemed to have their own lives, occasionally intersecting. A strange friendship indeed. I need to make some money, Anna thought, staring at her old bookshelf. But how to make money in the village? Especially at 15? Her mom would never let her go to the city. There, she could get a job as a waitress in a cafe or a pizza delivery person. Summer break would be the perfect time for it. But her mom would never agree to let her only daughter serve some rich kid stopping by a cafe for a drink. She'd rather work day and night herself, but wouldn't allow Anita to. I feel like raspberries, Anna thought suddenly. It's the perfect time to pick raspberries. The woods were filled with them. Anita knew exactly where the most grew. The locals didn't like going there. The bushes were too thick and painfully prickled anyone trying to pick them. She could sell the raspberries, not here in the village, but in the city. 40 minutes by bus and you're there, and it's just a short walk from the bus stop to the market. Perfect. Decided. Tomorrow, Anita would pick raspberries and head to the city market. Her mom wouldn't know a thing. She'd leave for work early. Who knows, maybe she'd get lucky. At least she'd have money for rice, sauce, or vegetables, anything to help her poor mother, who had long forgotten what it meant to take care of herself and just rest. At dawn, Anna quietly made her way into the little kitchen, took a small bucket off the shelf, lined it with a baking sleeve to make it easier to remove and give to a customer if needed, and headed for the door. She did everything as quietly as possible, so she wouldn't wake her mom sleeping in the next room. The forest was quiet. Only the soft trills of awakening birds could be heard here and there. Out of habit, Anna scattered a few seeds on an old stump for the birds or squirrels and then headed into the thicket to pick ripe, sweet raspberries. She was used to picking berries. She'd loved it since childhood. They always had raspberry jam at home. It was nice that they could pick as much as they wanted in the woods, as long as no one else got to the fragrant berries first. In an hour, Anita was hurrying to the bus, carefully covering her bucket of raspberries with a cotton scarf she'd brought for just this purpose. Her mom always did it that way. Against the evil eye, she used to say. Fortunately, the bus arrived quickly. Anna sat at the very back of the small bus with a yellow smiley face on its side. After all, she'd ride it to the last stop. For some reason, she felt a strange excitement, as though something very important was about to happen in her life. Could it really be about selling raspberries? Anita smiled at her thoughts and began to doze off, clutching tightly her precious bucket full of fragrant, ripe raspberries. The market wasn't too crowded, it wasn't the weekend, and most people were at work. But it was Wednesday, which meant that vendors from outside, not just regular market sellers, could trade here. Anna set herself up at the very edge and untied her scarf. People glanced at her raspberries, but no one was in a hurry to buy. It's all right, the girl thought to herself. I'll stay for a couple of hours. If no one buys, I'll go home and mash the berries with sugar. Adon, dear, I could devour all these raspberries right now. Anna suddenly heard a woman's playful voice nearby. The girl looked up and saw a well-groomed young woman in an obviously expensive dress stretched over her very large belly. Estrella, then why not? Let's buy some, replied the businesslike man holding her arm. Sweetheart, would you be so kind as to sell us your wonderful berries? Of course. I picked them fresh this morning. Wild raspberries, very tasty and healthy. Anna smiled and started scooping some out from her basket. Is this enough? The man handed her a 10-euro bill. What? This isn't even 3 liters, Anna stammered, looking down shyly. Oh, why are your hands so scratched? The pregnant woman asked, noticing. You're not sick, with anything contagious, are you? No. It's just the raspberry bushes, they scratch. But they give us these wonderful fruits, Anna reassured her. Your hard work deserves this money, take it. May it bring you good fortune, the man said, taking the raspberries and extending the bill to Anna at the same time. Thank you very much. Suddenly, Anna noticed the man giving her a strange look, but she didn't think too much of it. What mattered was that she'd made a decent profit almost immediately. What's your name? Adon asked. Anna, the girl replied, smiling as she tucked the money into her old denim purse, which she usually wore at her waist. Could you leave your number? Who knows, we might want more berries. My wife loves raspberries. He turned to his young wife, who was eagerly eating the berries one by one. Yes, of course. My mother, when she was pregnant with me, loved mushrooms. She couldn't live without them, but now she can't stand them. Anna handed him a slip with her phone number. Good luck to you, young seller. The man waved, took his wife by the arm, and they walked further down the row of market stalls. Anna rode home filled with happiness. In her basket lay a few plump, rosy peaches. She had to celebrate her first success. Her mother loved peaches, and so did Anna. She firmly decided to continue selling raspberries and possibly other forest gifts at the city market. Swiftly, she brought her sun-shaped pendant to her lips. She saw it as her talisman. Her mother had given it to her on her 11th birthday, and since then, Anna had never taken it off. Jumping off the bus at the familiar stop that hadn't changed in 15 years, Anna thought of running straight to her mom's work. But she decided against it. She'd make it a surprise for the evening. Anna decided to buy some meat and vegetables to make a delicious dinner for her mom. She had learned to cook early. There was no other option. Her mom was always working and didn't always have time to cook. So Anna took on that responsibility, along with keeping the house tidy. That's how mother and daughter had survived all these years. Most importantly, they loved each other deeply and took joy in caring for one another. Perhaps that's what helped them get through the toughest times. What smells so good, Anita? Monica asked as she walked into the house, tiredly sinking into a chair in the hallway. Surprise! Anna exclaimed, running out of the kitchen. I made meat with vegetables. And if you behave, you'll get a ripe peach. She kissed her mother on the cheek. Where did all this come from, honey? Monica asked, both surprised and slightly worried. You'll never believe it. I sold a bucket of raspberries today and earned 10 euros. Anna danced in place with excitement. Anita, why did you go to the city? You know it's dangerous for a naive 15-year-old girl like you. Who paid you so much? A businesslike man, clearly a businessman. Did he ask you to go somewhere with him? Answer me. Monica's tone was becoming anxious. Mom, calm down. His pregnant wife was right beside him with a huge belly. Anna gestured with her hands in a large circle as if hugging her own large stomach. A smile appeared on Monica's face, signaling she was relaxed and no longer worried. It's still strange, Monica muttered, kicking off her dusty shoes and slipping on her slippers. 10 euros for such a small bucket of raspberries. You should have seen how that pregnant woman devoured those berries. Anna giggled. Anna decided to keep quiet about the businessman taking her phone number, not wanting to worry her overly anxious mom. Dinner was a success, with their favorite peaches for dessert. Next month, we should have a bit more money. I agreed to extra shifts, so I'll try to get you a proper bed, Anita, Monica said while savoring a peach pit. You've grown up so wonderfully, unlike your friend. Mom, you shouldn't have taken the extra shifts. You never think about yourself, Anna held her mother's hand. It's okay, everything will be fine, Monica reassured her, squeezing her daughter's hand in return. The next day, Monica had the day off, a rare occurrence lately, so she decided to catch up on sleep. Anita, however, didn't want to stay home and decided to head into the forest, bringing along a book from her summer reading list. She had just settled on a large stump, far from where mushroom or berry pickers or couples might wander by. Anita opened her book to the correct page when, from behind the bushes, appeared her friend Jimena. Oh, Anita. What are you doing here? She asked, adjusting a stray lock of hair. Hi, G. I should be asking you that. The forest isn't exactly your favorite place to hang out. Now it is, Jimena replied with a sly smile. Am I missing something? Anna put her book down on the stump beside her and stared at her friend. Well, you know I started dating Marcos, right? Yeah, you mentioned it. So? Well, today, I became his. You get what I mean, right? His girl. Jimena. Are you out of your mind? You're only 15. I'll be 16 in a month, she corrected, plopping down beside Anita. Marcos is already 19. He can't wait for me forever. Well, technically, he could get in trouble for seducing a minor, Anita shook her head. Oh, come on. It's my decision, my choice. Fine, G, it's your life. I, for one, am not in any hurry. Yeah, you'll read all the books on Senora Suarez's list first, right? Jimena burst out laughing. Maybe. I think not just from that list, Anita replied with a mysterious smile, as if she knew something her friend didn't, something more than anyone else on the planet. You're such a bore, Anita, Jimena giggled. Life is so vibrant and exciting, yet you're spending it on words written by someone else, filling our heads. Anita didn't feel like arguing with Jimena. Recently, they'd become too different, and she no longer felt in sync with her friend. Jimena was all about Marcos, love, and passion. But Anita wanted something else. She dreamed of escaping poverty and lifting her poor mother, who had sacrificed so much for her, out of it. Her mom had always wanted the best for her and did everything she could as a single woman who had only finished high school. All right, G, everyone lives their own way. Are you heading home now? Let's go to town. Let's grab a coffee. My dad gave me some money yesterday. What for? Anita asked, surprised. I told him I was spending a lot of time with you, studying Spanish and literature. Cool, huh? And what if he finds out? If you keep quiet, no one will know. My dad was thrilled and gave me money so we could have some fun. So, shall we go? Well, all right, let me put my book away and tell my mom, okay? Sure, I'll come with you. Just imagine if my dad saw us now. Two little bookworms. Jimena laughed again. Anita stayed silent. She was struck by how easily her friend approached life. She could never be like that. Maybe it was because Jimena's family always had money, and she had both parents who got along well. She never had to struggle or solve problems. She could just live and enjoy herself. The cafe was quiet, with only a few people scattered around, likely stopping by for a quick lunch break. The girls ordered coffee, donuts, and ice cream. It was a small, affordable cafe, but the food was always fresh and tasty. Jimena had taken Ana here a few times. G chatted almost nonstop, mostly about how romantic her Marcos was and their plans together. Suddenly, her phone chimed with a message. At that moment, Anita glanced at the door, where a businessman who had bought raspberries from her at the market entered. Hey, I have to go, Jimena jumped up suddenly. You don't mind, do you? I'll leave some money, so you enjoy the ice cream. A double portion won't hurt you. You're so skinny, unlike me, she laughed, patting her own chubby sides. What happened? Anita asked, concerned. Marcos wants to take me somewhere. He'll pick me up outside. You'll be okay getting home alone, right? Here's some money for the bus. Ana placed some cash on the table. You're too much, girl, Anita said, clicking her tongue. All right, go, lovebird. I knew you'd understand. Jimena gave her a quick kiss on the cheek and dashed for the door. Just as she left, the server brought 2 beautiful dishes with ice cream. I won't manage 6 scoops, Anita thought to herself. Hello to young entrepreneurs, she suddenly heard nearby. She looked up to see the raspberry buyer standing in front of her. He was alone, without his pregnant wife, the raspberry lover. Oh. Hello. Care for some ice cream? My friend ordered 3 scoops each and then ran off with her boyfriend, leaving me to handle it. I love the ice cream here. I won't refuse. He dropped into a chair and pulled one of the bowls toward himself. Great, better than letting it go to waste. I'd probably burst if I ate both. Ana, I wanted to ask you something, Aiden began. Go ahead, she replied, taking a spoonful of the vanilla ice cream. That pendant. The one around your neck. Does it say happiness is nearby on the back? Yes, it does. How do you know? Do you have one too? No. I had one many years ago, but then I lost it. My late mother gave it to me as a good luck charm, but I lost it, and someone must have found it. Where did you get it? My mom gave it to me when I was about 11. She told me it brings happiness and good fortune. So, I wear it all the time, never take it off. It really does seem lucky. That's wonderful. And what's your mom's name? Monica. Monica Dotto. Anita's companion suddenly flinched and paled. Monica? A girl with a dark braid, he asked, as if talking to himself. My mom used to have a braid. Long and thick, but now she has short hair. She says it's more convenient. When my grandparents died, they passed away from pneumonia on the same day. Anita sighed. She cut her braid off and sold it to cover the funeral costs. She hasn't grown it out since. That's sad. And your father? My mom never talks about him. She only said that God sent her this man so I could be born. He doesn't even know I exist. Mom and I have no idea where he is. Honestly, I don't even know his name. You look a lot like her, Aiden murmured. Could she be the Monica I was crazy about 17 years ago? But then we lost touch. I lost her number, tore my hair out, but I couldn't do anything. I didn't even know where she lived. I knew nothing. He paused for a moment, still holding the spoon with the melting ice cream halfway to his mouth. And you, how old are you, Anita? I'll be 16 in September, the girl answered simply. 16. That might just be. Is something wrong? On the contrary. Anna, would you be able to come with me to a place right now? To a lab? Why? What lab? We'll just do a test. You see, I have this feeling that you might be my daughter. What? Anna nearly choked on her ice cream. I'm not going anywhere with you. My mom's right, it's easy to fool a naive girl like me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. I just wanted to clear up my suspicions. I noticed that sun pendant on your neck right away. I recognized it as the same one my mother had given me. She had it custom made by a jeweler. I must have left it in the motel back then. I truly loved your mother, even though we only knew each other for a few hours. I fell in love. I wanted to keep seeing her, but I lost touch and couldn't find her again. I didn't even get to know her last name. That's the story, kid. Anna was silent. Her mind tried, but couldn't process this information. Could this man be telling the truth? And if he was, did that mean her real father was sitting right in front of her? Her actual father. It was impossible to believe. Absolutely impossible. Well, Anita cleared her throat, struggling to speak. Maybe there's no need to check anything. You have your own life, a pregnant wife, and we. But Anna, I won't be able to live in peace until I know if you're my daughter, he said, looking into her light green eyes. I wouldn't really be your daughter anyway. You're a total stranger to me, Anita lowered her eyes. I understand, Anna, but please agree to this test. I'll take you home afterward. Please. It's very important to me. Fine, Anna said softly, setting the spoon down. Shall we go then? Auden placed a bill on the table and stood up. Anna also got up slowly, gathered the money her friend had left for her, tucked it into her trusty denim purse, and followed Auden. The result will be ready by the evening, Auden said as they drove back. And if it's positive? Anna asked without looking at him. Well, then I'll acknowledge you as my daughter, if you'll let me, and I'll take care of you. And your wife? Won't she mind? She's about to have a baby. Estrella will have to accept it. Everything will be fine, Anita. Just don't drive me all the way to the house, otherwise the neighbors will see or, worse, my mom. Stop here by the road, and I'll walk. As you wish, Auden pulled over to the side of the road. Thank you, Anna said, starting to open the car door. For what? Thank you for agreeing to the test. For the ice cream. And for covering everything, really. And for the company, too. Goodbye, the girl slipped out of the car. See you, Anita. I'll text you once I know the result. The girl nodded and walked away, her cheeks burning. It was hard to believe this man in a fancy car could be her father, her real father. Where had her mom even met him? Anna walked home, trying to gather herself so her mom wouldn't get worried and start panicking, thinking someone was trying to hurt or kidnap her. She felt drawn back to the forest. Anita turned onto the familiar path and entered the realm of trees and grass. It was so peaceful to breathe in this forest. And overall, how nice it was in the village. The city was dusty and too busy, but here it was calm and tranquil. You could think about anything, wander through the forest with almost closed eyes, and no one would bump into you or yell at you for no reason. Many girls from school dreamed of leaving this quiet village. Even though it was close to the city, it wasn't the city. But Anna never wanted to leave. Instead, she dreamed of seeing her beloved village flourish, grow, and become better, yet without losing its wild charm and closeness to nature. Anna sat on her favorite stump. Suddenly, a pine cone dropped at her feet, likely from a playful squirrel. She accepted this gift from the forest and took a deep breath of the pleasant aroma. A good omen, she thought, slipping the pine cone into her bag. She didn't know how long she sat there, coming to her senses only as it started to get dark. The girl stood up and ran home. Her mom must be worried by now. "Mom, I'm home." Anna called from the hallway. Her mother didn't respond. Maybe she had gone to the neighbors or out looking for her. Anna peeked into the kitchen. It was empty. Anxiety gnawed at her stomach as she headed to her mom's room. The door was slightly open, and on the floor, Anna saw her mother. She was lying completely still, her face pale, almost glowing in the darkness. "Mom," she called, and in the same moment, started dialing for an ambulance. While she waited for help, sitting on the floor beside her mother, she noticed a message from an unknown number. "Anita, my girl, the result is positive. You are my daughter," it read. Anna didn't know why, but she dialed Aden, her biological father. "Anita, listen." "Wait, please wait," she stammered. "My mom is very sick. Can you come? I'm all alone here. I called the ambulance, but they're taking forever, and she's so cold, but she's breathing and has a pulse. I'm on my way. Hold on, sweetheart. Don't worry. Everything will be fine." Aden arrived in about 10 minutes, looking anxious and slightly exhausted. "Let's go. I'll take her to the hospital myself." Aden easily lifted Monica in his arms, and together they headed outside. Just then, the ambulance arrived. "Go with your mom, Anita, I'll follow," Aden said quickly, helping to load Monica onto the stretcher. They sat in the empty hospital corridor. Aden had gotten some coffee, trying to distract Anna from her worries and ease her anxiety a little. "Everything will be okay, kiddo. Believe me, your mom will recover. I'll do everything I can. I promise," he spoke with sincerity, and she sensed it was true. "Are you really my dad?" A tear fell onto the lid of the plastic cup, but Anna paid it no mind. "Yes, it's true. You're my daughter, my dear daughter, the one I've longed for all this time. I could never forget your mom, but then I met Estrella. I can't say I loved her, more like I got attached to her. And Monica, she's still as beautiful as ever, though very tired. I told her not to take on extra shifts. She didn't take care of herself at all. She was always trying to give me the best, but it didn't really work out. You can't make much in a little shop, no matter how hard you try, and my mom doesn't know how to lie or cheat. Anna, together we'll make it all right." He trailed off as the doctor came out of the room. "Severe exhaustion. But no anemia. Ms. Dotto just needs rest, good nutrition, vitamins, fresh air, and some attention from loved ones. Can we take her home?" Anna asked hopefully. "She should stay in the clinic for a few days under supervision," the doctor replied. "You'd better head home now. Monica is sleeping, she's out of danger. Want to come to my place?" Aden offered as they left the hospital. "No. Just take me home, please. I don't want to. Your wife's there and, no, home." "All right. Would you like me to stay with you so you won't be alone?" "No, I'm a grown-up. I've spent the night alone 1,000 times. There's nothing to fear in our village, everyone's familiar." "Okay, but call if you need anything. Do you have a card?" "What kind of card?" Anna asked, confused. "A bank card." "Oh, yes, we just got one set up recently, just in case. At work, they still pay her in cash. Her salary's off the books." "Why?" "I just wanted to know if I could send you a transfer. Tomorrow, you'll buy groceries, have a proper meal, and then we'll visit your mom together, okay?" Anna nodded. She didn't say anything to avoid breaking down again. Strangely, Anna fell asleep quickly. She must have been exhausted that day. There were too many impressions, and her body just disconnected from reality. She didn't dream at all, even though Anna usually had various dreams, good and bad. But that night, it was as if she'd fallen into a vacuum. Anna woke up around 6 in the morning. She picked up her phone. There were no messages. Suddenly, the phone vibrated. Anna had forgotten to turn on the sound. Startled, she nearly dropped it. The number was unfamiliar. Could it be the hospital? Could her mother be worse? "Hello," Anita quickly answered. "Anna," a faintly familiar voice came from the other end. "Yes." "Who is this?" "It's Estrella, Aiden's wife. I need to talk to you." "About your father." "What happened?" Anna asked, alarmed. "I just wanted to say that it's best not to stir up the past. Your mother knew him many years ago. Now he has me and our future child. You and your mother don't fit into our lives. Understand?" We weren't trying to fit into it. Anna felt a wild anger rising from deep within. How dare this childish girl call and practically threaten her? Her father could decide for himself if he wanted his daughter in his life or not. "Don't get so worked up. We can come to an agreement. I'll pay you. I'll pay you well. With my father's money, right?" Anna sneered. "How dare you speak to me like that, you brat?" Estrella shrieked. "My father knows what to do on his own. He's not a puppet on a string," Anna retorted coldly. "If you don't like it, pack up and leave." Anna surprised herself with her bluntness. She'd never spoken like that, even with her peers, but it just came out. Estrella couldn't find a reply and hung up. Anna felt a sense of satisfaction. She had stood up for herself and her mother and put that cheeky girl in her place. How could her father live with such a toad? Adan had arranged for a private room for Monica. She was transferred there that morning. When they entered, Monica was already awake. She was sitting up in bed, flipping through a magazine without much focus. "Hi," Anna greeted softly. "Hi, my cheerful little bee." Monica's face lit up with a smile. But the smile faded as soon as she glanced at Adan. "What are you doing here? How did you even?" "Shoo," Adan put a finger to his lips. "You shouldn't be upset. Just accept it as it is. I accidentally ran into Anita and found out you weren't well. That's the whole story. Adan, there's no need to dig up the past. You have your own life, probably a happy one, so leave me and my daughter in peace." Monica leaned back, exhausted. "She's my daughter too, Monica," Adan said softly, placing a bag of fruit on the nightstand. "Let me be part of your lives. Don't push me away, please." Anna remained silent, unable to find the right words, and was too weak to respond. "I'll wait downstairs," he told Anna and quietly left the room, gently closing the door. Anna sat in the chair beside her mother's bed. "Mom, why are you like this with him?" "Anna, explain to me how you even met this man. You talk as if he did something bad to you." Anita lowered her gaze. "He just blew into my life like a whirlwind and flew out just as quickly. He didn't even call once. And I waited like a fool. I kept his pendant, hoping he'd come back or at least tell me where he was, but nothing. Why would he need a simple girl like me? He probably had plenty of girls like me. Mom, he lost his phone, and that's how he lost contact with you. Dad told me. He's not your dad. What has he filled your head with? That he'll make you a rich girl with a rich daddy? He'll get tired of you and leave. It's easy to be a father to a 15-year-old. He should have stayed up all night when you were sick or teething. Mom, please. Don't get upset. If you want, I won't talk to him. But he's not a bad person. He wants to help. I feel he's sincere. Now, tell me, how are you feeling?" Like a squashed tomato, honestly, Monica smiled. "I need to get out of here soon, or I might lose my job." "Mom, what job?" "The doctor said rest, rest, and more rest." Anna took her mother's hand. It was no longer as cold as it had been the night before when they were waiting for the ambulance. "Forgive me, dear," Monica said with a sad voice. "Forgive you for what?" Anna was surprised. "For not being able to make you happy or be a good mother, for always not having enough money for proper furniture, proper clothes." You must be ashamed of your mother, who only finished high school. Mom, what are you talking about? Anna stroked her mother's hand. How could I ever be ashamed of you? You're so caring, so kind, so understanding. Don't worry. Once I finish my studies, I'll have a good job, and we'll get out of this hole. Do you believe me? Of course I believe you. You're such a smart girl. Tears rolled down Monica's pale cheeks. Mom, let's have an apple, okay? Anita suggested, reaching for the bag. Sure, Monica agreed, wiping her tears with the back of her hand. For a while, they silently enjoyed the juicy greenish-yellow fruit. You know, I don't mind if Adan takes part in your life. After all, you came into this world because of him, Monica said calmly. Is he married? Does he have children? He has, some childish girl, maybe not even his wife, Anna lied. And a child? Well, she's pregnant. Mom, they're the ones who bought raspberries from me back then. Oh, my. What a small world. So many years have passed. Your wife called me, Anna said on the way home. Estrella? Adan was surprised. What did she say? How did she even get your number? Probably snooped through your phone, Anita smirked. She asked me to disappear from your life. Not to ruin your happy family. Oh, Lord. Estrella. She always gets into things where she's not wanted. How do you live with this squeaky girl? Anna turned away and stared out the window. Adan stayed silent. It wasn't clear if he agreed with his daughter's assessment or not. Maybe he wasn't thrilled himself to be married to the spoiled Estrella. Don't worry about it, Anita. Estrella has a terrible temper, especially now that she's expecting. Still, that doesn't give her the right to say that I'm your past. I think you're capable of deciding that yourself, aren't you? Anna looked straight ahead without turning her head towards Adan. You're right. I am perfectly capable of deciding that you are my present and my future. Adan smiled and warmly looked at his grown daughter, whom he had only recently come to know. Anna felt warmth in her heart. She was glad her father wasn't planning to exclude her and her mother from his life. On the contrary, he wanted to get closer to them. She suddenly longed for them to become a family, planning vacations together, decorating the house for Christmas. She wanted to see her mother happy, rested, loved, and needed by someone besides herself. A few days passed. Monica was discharged from the clinic. She no longer refused Aiden's help, though she wasn't in a hurry to let him into her life or her thoughts. That evening, Adan was returning from the village. He was already near his house when his phone chimed with a message. It was from Estrella. Adan, I'm leaving. In the end, I love freedom more than I love you. The child will be delivered by courier around 8 tonight. Adan reread the message 10 times, but still couldn't understand. 3 days ago, Estrella had gone to visit an old friend. She had been advised to stay home at such a late stage in her pregnancy, but she wasn't one to heed others' advice and had left for a nearby town. Could she have given birth there? What child was she talking about? And what did she mean by delivered by courier? Adan entered the house. It was 7:30. Surely a woman couldn't just abandon her child and send it with a courier to her husband? He dialed Estrella's number. Unreachable. He kept calling his wife, but nothing changed. She remained unreachable. At 8:05, the doorbell rang. Adan jumped up and ran to open it. On the porch stood a young man, almost a teenager, holding a worn car seat. In it, a rosy-cheeked baby slept peacefully. Where's Estrella? Adan asked, accepting the baby. I was just told to hand over the child to you, the young man calmly replied, then turned and dashed down the steps. Goodbye. Adan could think of nothing better to do than call Monica. Mona, I'm sorry for calling and bothering you. But I have an emergency, a real one. He told her everything that had happened. Adan, bring the baby here. Anita can quickly run out to get formula and a bottle, and we'll need diapers too. We'll figure it out from there. Monica spoke so calmly, as if nothing extraordinary had happened. Adnan felt a bit relieved. Without wasting time, he took the baby to the car. I can't figure out where she gave birth. In a clinic? I don't know, she's unreachable, and her friend isn't answering. I thought about going there, but right now, the most important thing is to ensure the baby is safe and healthy. Monica held the baby in her arms and smiled. Adnan had thought she'd never let him near her home again, yet here she was, readily accepting the baby, his baby. Anna and Jimena were sitting in the forest on a blanket spread over the grass. No way. I can't believe your mom accepted that man's child. That man is my father, Anna gently reminded her. I'm seriously losing my mind with everything that's going on. Finding your father right before your 16th birthday, and what a father. A businessman with a fancy car. And with a kid in tow. Jimena laughed. Oh, stop it. Anna playfully nudged her friend in the ribs. Who would have thought that immature woman would so easily abandon her own child and her husband too? And to think she nearly threatened me to stay out of her husband's life. Anna giggled. So, are your mom and your dad together now? Anna smiled. You know, they've gotten so close since Enrique came into our lives. Mom has really blossomed. How romantic. Not like my life. What happened? 2 days ago, I caught Marcos with some blonde. They were kissing right outside his house. Scumbag. I scratched his face and ran off. Oh wow. Anna looked at her friend sympathetically. Let him go. I'll find someone better, Jimena shrugged. You're right, Jimena. You're not one to stay single for long, Anna laughed softly. You know, I've decided to get my act together too. Life may be bright, fun, and fleeting, but I need to study. The world has no place for fools. Is that so? Then, are we starting with literature and Spanish? Anna winked. Yeah, let's study. Jimena said with a pout. But just not today, okay? They both burst into laughter. Anna stretched out on her large, cloud-soft bed. She felt like she was floating. Now she had a new room and a whole new house, too. Despite his best efforts, Adnan hadn't managed to convince his beloved girls to move to the city. So he had to build a house on the site of the old one. Anna and Monica had agreed to a temporary move. Anna smiled as she remembered the time she'd had to sleep on a squeaky inflatable mattress that made her back sweat terribly. She also remembered the wild raspberries in a small pink bucket, the berries that had brought her father into her life, that had brought together two loving hearts who had long lost hope of reuniting. I should make a giant berry and hang it above the front door. Let it guard our family's happiness, Anna thought as she began to drift into sleep. Dear viewers, if you enjoyed the story, please support the video by liking it and leaving a comment. Thank you very much.